Happy Wednesday. Welcome to ATI Pro Media. My internet's not liking the cold weather, so if I start buffering, Brady, just come in and save me, right? But anyway, we've got a good show, right? Maybe a little light on news, right, in terms of headlines. Got some mergers in the ABCD companies, right? One that finally went through. I think we need to talk a little bit about trendline yield. I want to talk about the corn soy ratio. But then we can jump right into it, right? We're streaming, we're going live every day. We go live on YouTube and Spotify, Apple Podcasts. Maybe we should be on Red Note. Who's heard about this one? I don't know if Brady has, but I want to talk about it, right? So with that, bring him in, Brady. Quote us up on the markets. What are we doing? Can we break through 460Ds, 480 March?
Oh, I hope today's the day. Let's go. We got a bid in the corn market. It's good to see. March corn's up 4.25, 478 and 3/4 right now. March beans. Well, I don't have March beans on my chart. We'll talk May beans. May beans are up a penny. Somehow my March beans got deleted. Anyway, oil's up. Soy oil is up. Soy meal's up. Chicago wheat's up 4 cents. KC wheat's up a penny and a half. Feeder cattle. We got March up 45 points. A little weaker in the back on August and September. Fat cattle are bouncing back to up 42 and a half on the Feb at 197.80. Which contract's going to trade $200 here? Will it be the April? April's tickling it. Lean hogs were firmer, 40 points up in the April, down on the February, down 12 and a half, 17 points. Crude oil energy's bouncing back, $1.29 higher. Diesel's up 4.5 cents. Nat gas is up 4 cents. The Dow, big day, up 700 points. S&P up 100, and then NASDAQ up 447. And Bitcoin's back too, baby, up 3,000 at 100,000. Good to see some green on the board. I hope the corn market breaks 480 on March, 460 on D's. Let's go.
Right. We got the fundamental news Friday, right? We bullish USDA report. Technicals have been friendly. Now it feels like we need we're either going to need that next headline, right? Whether that's, let's go forward in the calendar year. We're going to start talking about Brazil's corn crop, Argentina, right? That dryness in southern Brazil, Argentina, how that's going. Or if we could get that technical, if we could get over that hump, get over that resistance, that's another reason to rally. So we'll see. It'd be nice to go. But have you heard of? I know you're big on TikTok, Brady. I've seen your videos. But so we're banning TikTok in like 4 or 5 days, right?
Yeah.
United States. The Chinese version of TikTok is called Red Note.
Okay.
Americans have downloaded Red Note, like 500,000 people, in response to TikTok getting banned. I don't know if it's like kind of we don't care that China's looking at our data, so we're going to download the actual Chinese TikTok. But I saw the headline on Reuters this morning, and I'm like, well, maybe we need to get big on Red Note, Brady. What do you think?
I guess we might be missing out there, Connor. I don't know. I'm not too worried about it.
Me neither, but it's like, what? You never know what you're going to read. So
That is
unbelievable.
something else.
I wonder if they'll really ban. I mean, I don't know how many people use TikTok, but it's got to be multi millions. I wonder if the ban really comes through.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I don't know. I'm not a TikToker. I'm not a kid anymore, I guess. I'm not up with the times and the TikTok and stuff. I'm just a Twitter and a YouTube and a Facebook guy, old school,
There you go, right? Yeah, let's talk about some things we know a little bit more about, right? Let's look at these markets. The first one that I want to look at is that we're seeing another merger go through, right? Canada clears 34 billion Bunge Viterra merger with certain conditions. This has been ongoing, right? It looks like it's going to be passed, but the merger announced in 23 would create a global crops trading and processing giant with worth 34 billion, closer in scale with chief rivals ADM and Cargill. So now that we saw the Canadian approval, right, we're looking that maybe they could get the deal closed in early 2025. So looking at continued expansion, right, and just getting, Bunge's getting a little bit bigger, getting compared to the ADMs and Cargills of the world. So interesting to see.
That is, yeah. That's a space that continues. You just always see consolidation across that space, it seems like, and the big get bigger. And yeah, interesting headline. Okay.
Yeah. So
all right. On that, got some Nopa Crush stuff out here today, later today at 11. Connor B, that's going to be a big one to watch. Expected to come in at a new record for December. So hopefully we'll see some strong crush data this afternoon. Keep your eyes on that. That'll be out at 11 o'clock. Watch the markets that time frame. See if there's any reaction there.
Yeah, good to see. Joe mentioned something. We don't have it as a headline, but just was it the director of energy, Joe? Director of energy, right? He just kind of spit his rec, and he mentioned nuclear, he mentioned fracking, he did not mention anything in terms of renewables or biodiesel. So if we're talking politics, it can change incredibly quickly, right? We know that, but I mean, right now, what do you think, Brady? Just the whole 45Z, it just does not feel like a priority, and I would love to be pleasantly surprised, but it feels like the momentum's not there right now, right? Things could change.
Yeah.
It could be something. We don't need to see it the first 100 days in Trump's office for it to come to fruition, right? But it just doesn't feel like it's going to be that huge bullish card right now. I'd love to be wrong there.
Yeah, it doesn't, but we also got to keep our eyes on just the energy market as a whole and what a free market can actually do. It's great to have some policy that supports us to, increase demand, but if crude oil and diesel and RBOB, if those prices continue to go up, that's supportive for, the natural, soybean oil to make its way in and biodiesel to be more affordable, more attractive when you have high price, diesel, when you have high priced, gas out there, ethanol is going to make its what more of E15 will be more attractive. E85 naturally in a free market be more attractive. Keep your eyes on just what the energy market's doing as a whole when we're knocking on $80 crude here and seeing the diesel. Diesel's made a heck of a move here over the last month and a half. Hopefully you booked some needs here last fall, getting some questions about it and a little concerns about what should I be doing on that going forward. I don't know if it's that catch 22 here. Is it going to keep going up? And am I going to buy after this big rally, or do I wait for a pullback and do something down the road? And I'm more in the camp of let's hope there's a pullback and maybe some better opportunities to book some of that. But last fall, looking back in hindsight, that's a good opportunity to go do some of that stuff. I hope the free market works for us, Connor B. I don't know.
always.
I went off on a tangent there. Sorry about that.
No, good stuff. Good stuff. Hey, I got another tangent I want you to go on, right?
Okay.
Talk to us. Record nearby feeder cattle futures, right? Is it officially overall record or just for the contract month?
Nearby close. So the nearby feeder cattle futures, it was a record close. Yes, I believe yesterday here on nearby feeder cattle, and that strong cash index is really supporting the front month feeders. The funds are in the front months. March, January is going to sell to the index here in 15 days. So the index is moving. We had some strong data come in on the index Monday, we're always a day late on that, but we'll get Tuesdays here this afternoon, and we've got some big sales here today. Dodge City's having a big sale here, and we'll see how the cash markets shape up on the feeder cattle side of things. But record close on feeder cattle. This market's it's crazy. Been parabolic. We did that special back in was it September, October, about rolling down LRP and protecting dollars. And if you did that, you're sitting in a beautiful spot. You protected great equity in those LRP policies. And you may be writing a check, sending some cash in on your LRP because it's probably all expiring. The market's above where your coverage is. But you had opportunity to go out there and protect the equity when we had a sell-off if you had it on. And that's what we talk about, when we talk about managing volatility is embracing that moving market. But it's great to sell great cash and then have that opportunity to manage the volatility throughout the season. But good to see these markets hot, Connor.
Yep, absolutely. So, hey, another check, and I just want to look at is with this price movement beginning of the year, we talked about the corn soy ratio. I saw this great chart from Karen Braun with Reuters, right? And so we're still in a similar boat where the ratio is definitely favoring corn. If you can look at that little black line left side, that's where we are, right? And so we've certainly seen years where the ratio was more intense, but those were 2013, 2012, right? Years where we had a very tight carry out on corn, and we needed the corn acres, right? Today, you can make the argument we're tight, but I don't think we're 2012, 2013 tight quite yet, but it's going to be interesting, right? If the market is telling the U.S. farmer to plant corn, are they going to listen?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm nervous we're going to see something north of 94, 95 million acres of corn, but we will see. And at the end of the year, what will be the right move when we get to November, December, and if you didn't plant beans because the price wasn't attractive in the spring, will you wish you planted more beans when it comes time to harvest them?
Well,
Be
yeah,
interesting.
exactly. Because when we're looking at a corn soy ratio in January, keep in mind how fast it can change throughout the year, right? You want to look at the red line of 2012, right? It flip flopped. It actually closed lower than where we opened, which is kind of surprising, really. But thing that ratio, right? It's a snapshot in time. It changes very quickly, and it can change.
Yeah.
If you ain't first, you're last.
That's what
I'm talking about.
That's what I think of right here with the corn
There you
soybean
go.
ratio. Corn's in first right now, and if you ain't first, baby, you're last. You're last.
I like it. I like it. So, hey, last question I got for you. Trend line yields. Do we throw
Okay.
them out? Do we throw them out the window, Brady? Is the trend line yield? Is it a concept we even need to go forward with?
Ben Peterson an email out this morning, shared some information with us, and interesting talk. With that big pullback Friday in yield, some people throwing out there of, hey, the trend's plateaued, and but I don't know. I'm in the camp that we're just, yeah, you can have these periods of plateau, but we're just waiting on that next leg of innovation. And farmers have always been innovative, with whether it's genetics, whether it's technology with tractors, in precision ag practices, or just soil management, land management. I think farmers are so innovative, and price will drive you to be more efficient, but also be more productive per acre. So I don't think the trend is dead, Connor. I think we're just maybe plateauing until that next wave of innovation, and it'll catch us. It'll catch up here in a second.
Sure.
What
But
do you think?
just if we're keeping score, we haven't hit trend line since 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018. So it's been 6 years. So the naysayers have some fuel, but I'm with you. Maybe just that flat, the trend line that the USDA has been using. Maybe that
Mhm.
needs adjusted, right? Maybe the I, I don't know, this is probably the wrong term, but exponential growth is probably not exponential, but just that, continued increases. Maybe we need to
Mhm.
curb our expectations. But in my career, in my history, when we bet against technology, bet against genetics, I've lost every time. So we'll
Yep.
keep that in mind. But yeah,
Here's
have not. I mean, amazing that we have not. I mean, I've said it. I don't know how many times where in 2024 that we were below trend is still blowing my mind, given where we came from. But yeah, it's been a while since we've been above trend.
It's okay. I got a couple maps for you. Here's the corn yield on a trend line. So you got that gray trend line, that USDA trend line, been below, but still grinding higher. But I don't know. Is that flattening? I I think it's still grinding up. But to your point there, maybe it's not exponentially grinding higher. When you look at beans, I don't. That's maybe where it shines a little more, that it's maybe flattening out since 15. But interesting concept to think about. I'm betting on the U.S. farmer to continue to innovate, to continue to make progress, and continue to be more productive per acre.
Yeah, I agree. But it'll be interesting to see how soon will we get that where we'll see the USDA's first look, and what trend line will they use? Because
Mhm.
last year, did we start at a 181? Was that
Uh,
trend line?
it was above 180. Yeah, it was. I can't remember specifically. Post it
Yeah.
in the comments if you know. But
And and that's the thing about the trend line, right? Is that we got to keep increasing. So, if the trend line in 2018 was 178, didn't hit it, right? We keep going. Are we going to see, it just keeps getting bigger. So now we have never had a 180 national yield in the United States. And now the trend line yield could it be a 182? Probably not that high, but yeah, it's,
mhm.
it's going to be interesting. It is.
You got 95 million acres of corn. You're going to have a lot more fringe acres out there. So arguably, maybe you're not using as many of the highly productive acres if you're planting 94, 95 million acres of corn. If you're only planting 88 million of the best acres in that prime dirt in Illinois, Iowa, in your backyard, Connor B, then if you cut the fringe out, then maybe trend doesn't have to go up. But
yeah, that's a good that's interesting to think about. Is do we need to reduce trend line when we see corn acres grow in maybe these not quite as high yielding areas, right?
mm-hmm.
I think we probably got to go back before 2030. I wonder how far back we got to go before when acreage really exploded in the Dakotas. That'd be a good question for research.
It would be.
Anyway,
Yeah.
I need to quit going off on a tangent.
What
else do we got?
I don't know. We got some questions. Well, let's first talk about premium. We did premium yesterday. So we talked about charts. We reviewed some charts, reviewed some technicals, had some recommendations and next levels. It was a fun one to go back. These markets are moving, and I think it's important. I don't always rely on charts, right, Connor? But
Yep.
I think they're a good barometer to look at where we've been, where we've come from, and maybe give you some ideas on where your next target should be. But I don't know. We had some actionable recs in that video and have sent those out over the last couple of days. Make sure you're paying attention to those and get those orders working, and then get that next order that we talked about working as well.
Yep, exactly, right. It's good to look at the charts, but make sure we're not over relying on them either, right? They tell the story very well in hindsight,
mm-hmm.
but they still can give us some good place to put some target offers in, where we could potentially see the market, meet resistance, right? We can look at that, and I think that's what we walk through.
Yep. So we got some good stuff on tap for you today. We're going to talk about the meats here this afternoon and break down your livestock stuff. But let's dive into some of those questions and comments out there now. I'm ready now.
Okay, right. Brady, could you talk a little on cost differences between short-dated and long-dated calls?
I'm going to lean on you a little bit here too, Connor, but I did pull up some numbers here. Looking at like a July 480 call is 16 cents on corn. July short-dated 480 call. Mm-hmm. And you look at a December 480 call, it's 29 cents. So you're saving, 13, 14 cents by going in that July. I like on the call side, Luke, if you're talking options, the call side to me, you're getting in that nice window of potential upside. You look at those bullish bearish years, those seasonal type years. We can have the planning type scares in April, May, June, July timeframe, weather type events. And so the short dated calls, they manage really well in those timeframes. But save 13, 14 cents. I like it on the call side. The put side, yeah, it's maybe better than nothing. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I mean, the short dated, right? They're cheaper because we have less time value, right? A short dated July, or did you quoted July, didn't you? Short
July,
dated
yep.
May.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, right. That expires the end of June. It's going to be a little bit cheaper because we've got less time value. And along those same lines, right? If we go through a period of low volatility, that time value is going to erode. So they're not a catch-all. They're a fantastic tool in the toolbox. And one, I think, especially at this time, we need to be looking at it, right? If we're talking about getting some protection on, let's look at, let's weigh the options, right? Let's start with this is me. I want to look at the full first, get the baseline, and then let's start talking. Does a short dated make sense for your operation? That's all I look at it.
Yep. Also, if I'm running a shop, I'm probably not relying on one tool in my shed because I know I need more than one tool out there to fix different problems and to work in different environments. So don't rely solely on one tool to get the job done. Diversify the tools that you're using out there. But short dateds are a good tool to have. What do we got next on top with some questions here? Farmer Brett, the scary chart for us is South America corn bushels produced over the last 10 years. That is a scary trend line. Your thoughts, Connor?
Yeah, we need to pop that up, right? Is when I think we could even go back 15 years, right? And to see Brazil corn and soy production, how fast it has came online. And then, I think talk about them continuing to hit a trend line yield. I think it's very much on the table. So yeah, I'm with you there, right? Talk about the exponential increase, right? Corn and soy. You mentioned corn, but I still look at the soybean crop, even year on year, right? What we said yesterday, it was almost, even if we don't see an increase in soybean production, we're looking at a 13% increase year on year. In soybean, if we don't see an increase from here, we're still looking at a 13% increase. That's what I was trying to say.
Yep, still a bigger crop, and it seems to over the last 10 years continues to get bigger. They are a bigger piece of the global production system than they have been. And look at wheat in Russia. I mean, Russia, I think it was 10, 20 years ago, was the biggest wheat importer in the world. And now they're the largest exporter of wheat in the world. It's just always an evolving landscape here in ag.
Yeah.
Got any other hot questions here? Another one from Luke. Every trend line in South America is scary to the American producer. I believe they are now larger exporter of cotton than the U.S. and chasing us on corn. Good ad there, Luke.
Yep.
Need to bring Luke into our research team. He always comes up with some good
He's
stuff.
got some good ones.
Yeah.
Here we go. Insurance is now insuring corn different depending on if it's corn on corn acres or corn planted in wheat stubble. It really only applies to us in low rain counties. Okay, I was going to say farmer Brett, that's not something I'm familiar with. I didn't realize that was a thing.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. But it's interesting that they would start to skew the is it? I would be curious. I'm not an expert on that side of the insurance, but is it a cost or a coverage? How do they change it? I imagine it's on the cost side, the premium side, for being able to what you pay to insure those. But interesting stuff.
Yeah. So, okay.
Right.
Well, good stuff. Yeah, Brady's going to give us an update on this cattle market for premium. As always, any questions, shoot them our way. We'd love to answer them. With that, we'll see what the day brings, and we'll be back here tomorrow morning. Everyone have a good day.
Sounds good. Yep. We'll see y'all.
See ya.